What's up, guys? Dan here, bringing you episode number 5 of Vana Talk. Our special guest this week, we have Rooks from FinalFantasyAuctionhouse.com. It was a really fun interview, and I had a great time. If you guys liked the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment below if you want me to get any other new guests or if you want me to talk about any other topic. But without further ado, enjoy. I'll see you guys later. Peace. And yeah, Rooks, welcome. Thank you for joining me on episode number 5 of Vana Talk.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate it. You know, if you guys don't know Rooks, Rooks is part of the Final Fantasy Auction House FFXIH team. You guys know what that is. It's a website that's been around for a very long time. Very informative. They have, you know, all the auction house stuff on that website, so you know when you're at work or when you're at school, you can check if your item sold and if it didn't sell, and you can see who's undercutting you and all the fun stuff. And you were able to what was that website? The Links Shell community site. You were able to link that, but I guess that's down now. And yeah, I think people are crying about that. But yeah, Rooks, welcome. Let's get to your background, I guess. When did you start playing 11?
I was in the beta, so I was on Cactuar for the PS2 beta.
Oh shit!
No matter what anyone tells you, don't believe them. The beta sucked. There were no crafters. The only gil you could get was by farming orcs in Gelsba. There was no refresh. You couldn't be a bard because there weren't any crafters to make the vellum, and you couldn't buy it from an NPC. There was like one dude who became a bard at the very end. And that was it. There was one bard. It was great.
Damn. So beta, huh? How many players were in beta?
So there were 2 phases. It started off with the PS2 people, which I was in, and then, geez, I want to say like a month later, the PC beta people came in.
Mm-hmm.
All told, it was like about 1,000 people on the server, and like you noticed when the PC people showed up because leveling was so much harder. That like all the newbie zones were crowded constantly. Dunes was a complete disaster. My first party in the Dunes was 2 warriors, 2 red mages, and 2 white mages. We still died like every time.
Typical Dunes, right? No matter what setup you go to in the Dunes, you're just gonna die anyway. So, I mean, but yeah, yeah, that's crazy. You're in beta. I played since NA release on PC. So that was what, 2003?
I want to say 03 or it was either 03 or 04. I'm old. I don't remember years anymore.
Same, dude. So are you still playing? Are you still active, or
I still have my accounts. Like I never deactivate those. I haven't played for a while because everyone that I played with left, and I work-wise, I've had a project that I've been on since last June that has consumed all of my time.
Is it FF11 related, or?
No, it's day job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. I wish it was 11 related. I ever win the Powerball, man, I'm just gonna work on it all day. No, so I haven't really had time to, like, I get free time in like 45-minute blocks.
Ooh, okay.
Which means, like, that's why I'm sure, you know, people are gonna ask, when are you gonna fix achievements on AH? It's
oh, like, my lord!
I need more than 45 minutes at a time to fix it. So,
well, how many people are on the team for 11 or auction house?
Are you counting like people with code access or moderators, or
minus like, just code access, the core?
It's just me and Scrag, I think, at this point.
Oh, is Scrag still around? I haven't seen him in...
Oh yeah, so here's the thing. Anything that actually happens on the H server, Scrag is involved. I don't have production access. Like, what I do is I have access to the code repository so I can submit pull requests, and I can build in tools to make, you know, administering the site easier without having to do a deploy. But yeah, anytime there's a database update, you know, that's all Scrag. Like, so when there's an item update, which hasn't happened in way too long for reasons I don't need to get into, I download everything, run a series of scripts we have to make it, you know, suitable for the H database, and then I upload it to him, and then he drops it in. So like I submitted an item update to him the other day and he hasn't applied it yet, so that's why all the items are out of date.
Gotcha.
Sorry, y'all.
Anyway, we're kind of going off topic, but when did you quit? What era of 11? Like what was the latest content that was out?
The last thing I did was working on Aeonics.
Not too far off.
Yeah, no, the group I was with, we beat Rhapsodies, and we're working on Aeonics. We got up to, I think the last thing we had Koryu and one of the other, I want to say it was the Siryu, the upgraded Siryu in Asha Sky. But we'd cleared most of the tier 3s in Rizenjima. So like there were about 5 of us, depending on who all showed up in any given day, but eventually everyone just ran out of time to play, and so I think the rest of them are off playing Lotro right now or something. I don't know.
Interesting. So okay, so you've been playing since beta. Were you pretty active during the H&M scene, or?
I didn't do a lot of Ground Kings because I worked too much. I didn't have a lot of free time. I ran a Dynamis shell.
What server were you on back then?
I was on 8. Well, so I started on, was it Cactuar, to the Link shell I was with on Cactuar. We all went to Midgard Sormir. And then when they opened up Hades and Asura, we all transferred to Hades. So we were on Hades and then Cerberus, which is actually how I originally met Stan, which is why I ended up with access to Guildwork.
Right. That's gonna be another topic we're gonna be going into in a little bit.
Were you in Excellence? I seem to remember you.
Yeah, you know, the character that I'm on right now is actually Stan.
Nice. Thought I recognized that Donald.
Yeah, we still have great talks about Stan de-leveling while doing H&Ms, and then he can't wear his relic anymore. You know, the good old days.
Nice. I actually I loaned him a bunch of silver pieces so he could get his Aegis.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
But yeah, I love the H&M days. You know, a lot of drama, a lot of it was competitive. You know what I mean? That's when the game was pretty competitive. Even though yes, there was a lot of bots and whatnot. You know, claim bots and whatever. But I don't know. I just had a lot of fun during that era, I guess. I don't miss it.
I didn't get to do a lot of it, but I think the game was better when there was something like that forced people to interact and do stuff on a schedule, like, and not just sort of filter off and do whatever. It built the community, even if it built that community around people getting mad at. You could all hate the bots together. It was great.
Right. I mean, there's still a community here. It's a lot of people blame trusts for the community like drastically diminishing, but obviously that's not the case. You know, you look at websites like Final Fantasy Auction House, what are the other fucking, you go on Reddit, you go on other places, and there's still an active community going, you know what I mean? BG Wiki, people are actively still there and creating guides, and people ask questions and they get it answered. So I found Dark. Anyway, but yeah, the community it's not as, I would say it's not as strong as it was back in the day, you know what I mean? But it is still there, and but yeah, you played through the 75 era, and you played through Abyssea, yes?
Oh yeah, I played through everything. I didn't take a break of any real size until after Rhapsodies.
Okay. What did you think about Abyssea when the level cap got changed and all that?
I think Abyssea gets blamed unfairly for the demise of Final Fantasy XI. I think the thing that actually hurt it more than anything was, and this is probably a controversial topic, is the salvage bans. Because the salvage bans took out a large group of, I guess, the motivated high-end players.
Right, the super hardcore.
And, yeah,
right.
And some of those people came back, and not a lot of them didn't. And there was a noticeable drop-off after all that. Oh, what's up, Ixion? Um, so I think they had to do something. I don't know if Abyssea is what I would have done, but I think that it injected life into the game. And I completely understand the people who say that it ruined the game because it's a totally different game. I
Right.
think that there's really like 11 has been 5 or 6 different games throughout its lifetime.
Absolutely.
Um, and even in the 75 era, there were, an era pre TAOU. Because really, once you could get to like the merits, I'm trying to think when merits went in. It wasn't right off the bat,
No, no, no.
but merits and things like Colibri parties, they um, completely changed how you got it. I mean, I remember when getting 6K an hour in KRT was good XP. So
hell yeah, dude. Moon parties, you know.
oh god, I remember being so happy that I got my Moongate pass and I used it twice. It was great.
Hey, it counted, man. It was definitely worth. But yeah, Abyssea. That's when Stan actually was like, "What the fuck happened to 11?" And that's when he quit, and he's just like, "Fuck this." And but yeah, the Abyssea. I feel like Abyssea. Man, the community like Abyssea is what's crazy about Abyssea is there's so many different aspects to the game that was introduced that we had no idea about. You know what I mean? Like the whole procking system and all this shit. And you know what? The 11 community, we all got together and we figured this shit out, and we figured it out pretty quick. I feel like. And
Yeah, I I remember just people passing around like Google Docs and images of like here's the procs, and they were always like early on people hadn't quite figured it out, so you'd see images that were like, well, that's not a proc, and people getting confused about if they could use Red Lotus Blade. Oh man, I hadn't expected quite so much nostalgia.
I know, right? I mean, Abyssea has been out for a very long time now, and it's I don't know, man. It's just something in the past now. I think I feel like the worst expansion or the worst part or worst stage of 11 was Wings of the Goddess, in my personal opinion. Just because.
See,
Go ahead, go ahead. No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was of that opinion until I took a second character through Wings of the Goddess and got to play the story all at once instead of stretched out over 2 years.
Right, I mean, that's the thing. It took so long for them to finish the expansion, the story, everything. The I love the H&M scene during Wings of the Goddess. You know, Dark Ixion was so much fun fighting. Sandworm, all that shit. That was fun. But the story, the game itself, it was just, I think it shit the bed.
It took too long. There were too many patches that turned out to be like, go to your home city, watch a cutscene, go to Bucedine Glacier, walk around in the snow for 10 minutes, do a dumb mini game, and then do nothing for 3 more months.
Right. Oh, the worst part was you do one mission, then you have to do like 17 quests to get onto the next mission. Oh lord.
Yeah, like Wings of the Goddess was one of those expansions where I liked a lot of the ideas and the execution just wasn't there for some of it. And it made me sad because I really wanted it to, because as being it was post Abyssea. Was it? Now I don't remember. Yeah, it was supposed to be.
What are you talking about?
When it came out after Abyssea, didn't it? Or was it before?
It was like right when Abyssea came out.
That's right. Okay. I was trying to remember like the order of it, but what I'm thinking of is Secrets of Adeline, how it needed something to bring it past the sort of stagnation.
Right.
Because I think post Abyssea with Void Watch, I think things just got kind of stagnant because there wasn't enough to do. What I always thought was one of the biggest, pieces of staying power in the 75 era was because of gear swapping and horizontal progression. You could pick and choose what you did endgame wise. Like you could do 7 different events and get something useful from all of them.
Right.
Dynamis and Ground Kings and Einherjar, and sky and sea, and there was something useful in all of them. So if you didn't like one of them, it didn't totally, totally screw you. Like in a game like 14, if you don't like the current raid system, you're screwed. Like there's nothing else for you to do. You're done. Just pack it in and go craft for a while.
Right, that's what I heard. I've never played Final Fantasy 14, but that's what I've heard. It's just straight vertical progression. You get your raid, you do the raid, you get your gear, that's it. You just sit, with your thumb up your ass for the next fucking patch or raid to come out, and that's all you do. And what the fuck? You know what I mean?
I've played 14 for the simple reason that you can play it in very short bursts and still progress, and you can play it pretty much entirely alone between the matching system and just everything in the outworld is soloable anyway. So when I don't have a lot of big chunks of time, it's good for that.
Right.
If I have big chunks of time, I'd rather go fix AH.
Right. So okay, now that there's the point where people are like, okay, you're playing an MMORPG, you're supposed to be interacting with people and playing with the community or whatever, and you said in 14 pretty much you can do it solo, right? You just do the matchmaking system, you get into a group, you don't even need to talk to them because everything is laid out in front of you, right? You need to do this at this time, at this percent, you go here. If it's doing this move, you move to the left or whatever. It's kind of like World of Warcraft, so from what I've seen. And in 11, even though you're joining a pug, there still has to be communication, you know what I mean? And people give shit about retail where it is now, saying it's it's soloable. There's a huge misconception of where Final Fantasy 11 is right now.
I don't think it's soloable unless you're running 6 accounts and 6 boxing.
Even then I multi-box. Even then it's like there's only so much you can. I mean, it's not possible to do everything. I mean, I try to push my limits myself. I know Egan's multi-boxes and a couple other people that multi-box, but at the end of the day, like it's sure we can do a lot of the hard content. That's just to push ourselves. We don't do it so we don't have to talk to other people, you know what I mean? Like that's not the case.
No, for a while there I triple boxed, and it was really just so I could do things when other people weren't around, but it was never better than playing with other people because it's so much harder for less out. I mean, even if you completely scripted everything, which I never did, but even if you did, like there's still too much to do. Like there's not enough time to get it all in unless you want to have a heart attack. Right.
And it's not going to be as efficient as going with real bodies and getting it done the correct way.
And like you said, it's an MMO. If you're not playing with other people, like what's
the point? Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions about 11 and how it is now, and I don't know, man. But yeah, are you willing to, if you had the time, are you willing to give 11 a shot again? Or
I've never, like,
well,
I don't have time and I don't have anyone to play with right now, but I could probably, if I had time to play, I could probably drag some people out of it.
Gotcha. So okay, I mean that was the main reason, right? Your friends, that your crew pretty much wasn't playing anymore, so you're just like,
yeah, they either took off to Lord of the Rings, or a couple of them are in 14. But no, I thought about shifting to Asura, but I don't really want to give up my character name. That's a big.
Oh yeah. Unless, wait, did you already check if there is one on Asura?
Oh yeah, there's one there. I have a character on Asura with an alternate name, but I think he's like level.
Unfortunate, dude. Now, okay, this is a serious question right here.
Hit me.
What do you think about private servers?
I go back and forth on it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, okay, so there's a lot of people. I wouldn't say all, but there's a lot of people that claim that it's the true Final Fantasy 11. It's the true 11 era. Obviously, you've played throughout since beta. I mean, what do you think? Or have you haven't played it, right?
No, I haven't been on a private server. I've been invited a couple times, and it came down to I don't have enough time to do this and that. So
Right.
if I have the time to play 11, I'm gonna play retail and progress on my real character and hang out.
Right. Now, what are your thoughts on private servers running and their community? I don't know if you know about their community, but
I have friends who play on them.
mm,
I think so. From a community aspect, I think it's great because more 11 is always a good thing.
right.
I don't know what their legal standing is. That's kind of interesting. I don't think Square is particularly concerned about it. Like, because for them, 11 still makes money.
Oh
And
yeah.
I don't think. I think they probably just kind of willfully ignore it. I'm sure they know about it because how could you not?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have Ninja streaming it with fucking, he rolls in with 23,000
Yeah,
viewers,
like
and then
it's out there. People know about it.
mm,
I don't think Square cares. Or if anything, they're probably like, yeah, keep talking about Final Fantasy 11. So I don't think that's a problem. Um, I think the debate on what the true 11 is ridiculous because,
yeah.
like I said earlier, I think 11 has been like 6 or 7 different games, probably depending on what era you were at and what the like what your personal scenario is. Like, isn't Nozomi capped at 75? Is that what it's
Yes,
supposed
yes.
to be
They
like?
they just came out with treasures. I mean, it's still buggy,
Ooh.
but they just came out with treasures. But the thing was, before they came out with it, they had people had Pandemonium Warden gear, so I don't know.
Yeah,
It was
I think
a little weird.
I think hmm, I think treasures might actually be my favorite era of 11. Maybe
Same.
COP. I liked COP a lot. Just like the first time you clear One to Be Feared is just it's a magical.
Oh yeah, I mean the fucking endless preparation, endless hydro pumps and shit.
Going and farming all those yellow.
Oh man. And once you cleared it, it was a magical moment too. You were just like,
no. I was the only viable ninja in my link shell, so I'd fought that thing a lot. I spent a lot of time hearing man, I can still in my head, like I hear the COP battle music and I can remember exactly at what point. All right, casted semi knee. All right, cast.
oh man. So I mean that another thing is you remember your moment of clearing COP and getting your Raja's ring, right?
Mhm.
I don't think there's any way that you can go back and relive that moment. I don't think there is.
Well, yeah, because it's not going to be the same as when you did it with, with your original. Because
Right.
I mean, for me, it was less about getting the ring and more about having gone through this months-long process with the same 5 people, um, going through, geez, that Tenzin fight was hard when it came out too.
Mm-hmm.
But One to Be Feared and the endless grind of 3 paths and just, geez, I remember the Oryu fight being a nightmare.
Fuck that, dude. Mm.
So yeah, like I don't know if people are enjoying it though, man, more power to them. I've I don't worry about like I think if I think how to say it, kind of at a loss. If people are enjoying it, man, good for them. I think you're right though. I think you can't possibly match the original feeling just because the original feeling. Let's face it, we were all a lot younger and happier.
True. I don't know about happier. I don't know about happier. I mean,
I miss my 20s occasionally. Sucks.
Yeah, but sometimes those texts or calls at 3 a.m. waking up for fucking TMS suck. But yeah, no, I completely understand. But yeah, but that's, I mean, for me personally, it's in the past. but the game is still great. You know, the two main things about the game is still here. The community is still here, obviously. It's not as powerful and as big as where it was, you know, many
But
years
that's
back.
fine. Like, it's not about
But
quantity.
yeah,
Like,
it's
11
about.
was
Go ahead.
11 was always better with a small group of dedicated and like-minded people. Like, because
Right.
I had a big link shell and I had a little link shell. And the big link shell was useful for some things, but man, I always had more fun with the little link shell.
Oh yeah, because it's more personal. You know what I mean? Like you get to know everybody more on a personal level. In a big link show, you're just like, hey, you on? Okay, we're doing this. Okay, after you're done, you're just like, okay, bye. I'm gonna go fuck off and do other things.
Yeah, trying to drag 50 people around Dynamis Bucidine is
Oh,
not a good use of 3.5 hours.
oh man, I hated doing Bucidine. The travel. I mean, it was probably 60% travel in that whole fucking run too. Going up and down the mountains.
Up and down the stairs. Like, and you're like 10 feet away from something, but you got to go down 6 ramps to get.
Yeah. What do you see the future of 11? And yeah, where do you see 11 going in like the next few years?
I don't really know. The thing that sticks out to me is that we still haven't seen anything about this Nexon game yet. Like, there's been very little that's come out about it. And I think the biggest thing there is that Square is very protective of numbered Final Fantasy titles. Like, we saw what they did with 14, where they basically built the game twice so that
Right.
they didn't lose a number in the series. 11 clearly still makes money. I don't think it makes a ton of money. I would bet, I did some back of the envelope math a couple months ago when someone asked me if 11 made money. I would bet it probably makes around $9 to $10 million a year, which, you know, to you and me, that's a pile of money. But like to Square,
Right.
that's a rounding error. Square doesn't care about $10 million.
Right.
What they care about is that it's a numbered Final Fantasy that's still productive and active and has a dedicated fan base. I don't think they would actually close 11 until it was either losing money for years or they had a viable follow-up. Like, if this Nexon game is finally done and it's suitable and it's great, awesome. I have doubts as to why that's even possible, but we can talk about that later. But I would bet that Nexon has already made at least 1 or 2 versions of the game and it's been rejected. Like, that's my hot take, is that Nexon's made the game twice and they fucked it up both times and Square said no.
Well, didn't Nexon recently, the owner fucking sell off all the shares or some shit? From what I read.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big Nexon fan in the first place, but
Yeah.
I would bet, if I had to put money on it, that they have already submitted something to Square and gotten which I don't think they could have ever succeeded with that, because when you think about what makes 11, like, the question is, are you trying to recreate Vana DL, or are you trying to recreate Final Fantasy 11? Because if you're trying to recreate Vana DL, that's not that hard. It's a neat setting with all sorts of deep lore, but that's, that's writing. You can do that. Recreating 11, you have to recreate gear swapping. Like, you have to. The horizontal progression of the game is built upon the notion that you can swap gear in combat.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can't do that, it's not the same game. Like, because otherwise, gear, like all the job-specific gear, like enhances Sentinel, all that shit's useless if you can't swap gear in combat.
Absolutely.
So, unless Nexon or whoever makes a way to do that, basically, unless they find a way to implement a gear swap alternative, in game, nothing's going to replace it. And before I left, Square had item sets, which I mostly just used for lock style, which is still the greatest glamour system in any game, hands down. I love lock style. Lock style actually rewards you for playing the game and leveling characters. So, but until they do something that even is that simple, like, there's no chance that they could effectively replace 11. So, but I think the game has at least a couple more years before Square could even consider pulling the plug on it. Like, it still makes money. it costs basically nothing to maintain. They gain nothing by closing it early, other than making people mad. So I don't know. As far as like future development, I don't know. I thought they made a colossal misstep when they rolled out Rhapsodies by declaring it to be the end.
And yeah,
It's like, what are you talking about? Like, unless you're really going to close the doors after that, don't say that. Like, if we never get another expansion, that's fine. You know, that's the Rhapsody storyline was a great wrap up to it, but add more content. And they added Omen.
right.
I did some Omen before I left. Ambuscade is as a programmer, I truly appreciate the efficiency of Ambuscade. Like, they really only have to replace a couple of models and maybe a mechanic or two, and voila, they have content for a month. It's great.
Right.
So I appreciate that just from a design perspective. But I don't know. Like, are they gonna? Oh, you know what? I do remember they had introduced Dynamis Divergence just before I left. I did a couple rounds of it and not much more.
Yeah, it's actually Dynamis Divergence Wave 3, so there's 3 waves of it. It's actually pretty fucking tough, yeah.
Like, bring your whole army, or
yeah,
like,
yeah, you need
like 6 people who are
no. I mean, okay, so there was a guy that he's gonna be on my future episode, but there's a guy that did it with 8 characters, him and 2 other people. They did it with 8 characters, but they exploited how Death Penalty, how the magic affinity weapon skills work, and they just, you know, they just fucking tore the place up. But yeah, if you're doing it in a melee setting, yeah, you're gonna want a solid 12 to 18. And
we went in with 7, and we eventually got the hang of it, but like, everyone was playing Puppet Master and shit.
Okay.
It mostly worked out because as long as we, you know, stuck to pet jobs and didn't have a ton of hate, you know, we could kind of punch above our weight a little bit, but we couldn't beat bosses that way. Like, bosses would just tear us up.
Right. I never liked Dynamis. Fuck Dynamis. I don't like the new one. I never liked Dynamis, period. But the reward system is great. I meant what you get from defeating Wave 3 is great, because you can actually, you know, you can afterglow your weapons, right? Like your relics, mythics, etc. Now you can augment it.
What? Oh my god! Do I have to upgrade Excalibur again?
Oh, you don't want to. You need to throw that on your mannequin, dude. Fuck that. Throw that shit on your mannequin. You don't want your Excalibur. Wait, what job were you playing?
I played everything. Excalibur was my first relic. I got that in 05, I want to say. I was the first one on Hades. So that's always the one I upgrade first, just out of nostalgia.
Oh, okay.
But I have Excalibur, Aegis, O-Chain, Burt Gang, Annihilator, Spharai, and I'm missing something. Gallarhorn.
Oh, okay. So when you
shit, Ragnarok, I forgot about that.
Ragnarok's still decent for warriors. What was it? So when you augment it, right, you'll get, so there's gonna be 3 augments on it after you defeat a wave 3 boss in Dynamis. The first augment's gonna be damage, pure damage, right? Second augment's gonna be whatever weapon skill that comes with that weapon. So for example, Atonement, it'll have plus Atonement damage on it. And then the third augment, it'll be a special augment. So let me look this up. I think Atonement does like it gives you like plus 100 enmity or some shit. And yeah, it gets pretty fucking nutty. MPs, it's just straight it's damage, weapon skill damage, then stats. Burt Gang, okay. Okay, so it's damage, then Atonement enmity plus 100 for Burt Gang, and then you get accuracy, magic accuracy. I don't know. It's pretty weird. But it's crazy, you know. They pretty much, when they came out with Dynamis Wave 3, they're like, okay, oh, you thought you were done grinding? Hold my beer. Came out with the new fucking Dynamis, new Wave 3, all this shit, and the grind. You can never actually complete Final Fantasy 11. It's not gonna happen.
That's the best part.
It's not gonna happen.
There's always something else to do.
You know, it's Final Fantasy 11 is the one of a kind MMORPG. Like you mentioned, the whole gear swapping mechanic. You know, using certain pieces of gear at certain times, and there's a lot of gear that, you know, there's still gear from back in the 75 days that we still use, i.e. defending ring, right? And it just keeps on progressing.
The thing that I liked the most about 11's combat system was that it truly rewarded you for thinking about things. I don't want to say out the box because that's a dumb cliche, but like if you look at most games, especially vertical progression games, your job or your class or whatever is a collection of abilities, and you get stuff at various levels, but there's no sub job. There's no, like, 14 sort of has cross class skills, but it's not quite the same. Whereas, but you have a defined role. It's a very narrow box that you're in. You know, all paladins have flash, and all warriors, you know, have fell cleave, whatever. But 11, you just kind of have this box of toys, and if you want to be a ninja and hit things with your dual hammers, and you can make that work, man, more power to you. It rewarded you. It rewarded skill above all else. If you had a play style and you could make it work, then it would work.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you on that. You could kind of Frankenstein your character and kind of do things that are not fuck, what's the word? That's not meta. Right.
Well, exactly. Like, there is no meta, because the meta for Final Fantasy 11 is find smart people.
right. I mean, well, nowadays on Azura, it's you must have an afterglowed relic, MP, mythic, or Aeonic, or else we're not gonna invite you to the party. But
oh my god, choke on Satan's dick.
I mean, that's how it is now. That's how it is now. And it's unfortunate.
I mean, I get it when people do that, because, like, they're trying to not waste their time, but you lose out on so much of what makes this game interesting, which is that people can sort of figure out ways around the game design. Like, Ninja was never supposed to be a tank. Like, I know everyone knows, oh, it's supposed to be a tank. It was supposed to be like a support DPS.
Right.
And players used it so effectively that even Square had to finally admit, I guess it's kind of tanky.
I know one. I have one name that's on that I want to say for Ninja. You already know. Real Kenshin. Come on, dude. We're still waiting for his next live journal post. Ninja sub Dark Knight. Let's fucking go, dude. Dude, when he came out with all those posts, we're just like, what the fuck? This guy's actually a god.
I miss an era of the game where you had to, like, keep a list of live journals to troll for information.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. Oh, dude. Remember KRT parties? White Mage sub ninjas, Hexa Strike, or White Mage and monks, dude?
Absolutely. No, I was always a bard there. And man, bard pulling, I had a macro whose only purpose was to toss on a bunch of Zenith gear and then take it off, so my yellow HP would aggro stuff from farther away than I could pull. That was the entire point of that. I miss KRT. I don't miss doing it for 7 hours at a time, but I miss it.
It was fun. It was definitely unconventional, you know. Because White Mage wanted to DD2. Dude, I remember all these, like, old videos, like when YouTube became a thing, and I remember watching this one video. It's like this dude, he's like, yo, I'm playing Final Fantasy 11, but I'm a White Mage, but I'm a DD. You know what's better than 1 Hexa Strike? 4 Hexa Strikes. And you just see fucking 4 White Mages Hexa striking the fuck out of bones in KRT, man. I mean, we used to do some random shit, but it worked sometimes.
I had a guy I played with. He was actually my roommate for a couple of years. He's a good dude, but man, he wanted to show up Winja to everything.
Oh
And it was
Lord.
like even stuff where like Winter was not particularly appropriate. I had to like tell him, go back, please sub Black Mage. We need escape. I'll just smash a hole in the wall with my hammers. Oh, no, come on, man. Let's go. But yeah, like Hexa properly geared out. Oh, God, I remember the same guy. He was in the living room on the playing on the big TV, and he was. You remember those the pirates that dropped the two cudgels?
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
sea lava?
Blackbeard and Whitebeard or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck. Yeah, yeah,
he camped those damn cudgels for literally a week.
yeah. Yikes, dude. Oh man. That was the worst too, because if you didn't fucking get it on that one boat, right? It doesn't matter if you warp or not. You have to wait. Was it 16 minutes? Fuck.
It was yeah, it was not a short trip.
No, no, no. But those are fun days. But it's memories. At the end of the day, it's memories for me. So moving on. So it's you and Scrag, right? That are main coding and everything on the auction house page.
Yeah, I haven't had. The thing about working on AH is it's got a pretty specialized development environment.
Mhm.
And it's not one that's generally compatible with my usual work environment. So it takes
Right.
a little bit of build up and tear down.
Mhm.
And it really, I haven't been able to do anything but the most minor tweaks for a while, just because I don't have a block of like 3 or 4 hours to just sit and focus on something between work, which has been a nightmare for 9 months, but is finally wrapping up, thank God. And like, you know, I've got a 5-year-old. I mean, can't ignore him.
Of course.
So I haven't been able to really spend a lot of time on it, which sucks because, you know, like I said, there's only so many people with code access. I like working on AH. You know, it's old code, but it's well structured code. You know, Scrag did a good job. But it's kind of fun to work on because it's not the kind of thing that I work on for my day job. It's this totally separate thing, and it's kind of a passion project. Even all the downsides of AH admin, like being able to work on something that's given me such value and such joy, and know that I can help keep it running and make it better. That's fantastic. It's great. It's a real point of annoyance for me that I can't spend more time on it.
Gotcha. When did you join the auction house team? Exactly, or do you remember?
Oh, geez, I gotta look.
It's been a long time, huh?
It's been a couple of years. My kid was still little. Give me a second. You know what? I know where I can look it up real quick. Give me 10 seconds.
No problem. But yeah, man. You know, I want to thank you and the auction house team for doing such a wonderful job on helping the community out. You know, this past decade or however long the games, you know, however long you guys have been running. You know, we have a, you know, auction house is probably, I would say it's the home base for 11 chatter and communication. Opinion.
I love the Final Fantasy XI community. I've had some of the most fun I've ever had online in Final Fantasy XI. So
yeah, there are a couple shitheads on there, but I mean, at the end of the day,
I try to keep them contained to the politics and religion section. But no, it's being able to, even in a small way, be able to help keep things going. It's my pleasure. And I was promoted June 2nd, 2015.
Okay, nice.
That was when I got bumped up to moderator, but it was always with the idea that I would eventually be a programmer.
Gotcha.
Being a mod on the H forums is awful. It's the worst.
Being a moderator, you said?
Oh yeah, it's so
Oh,
bad. Like, your
bet,
inbox is overflowing with nonsense every day. It's just whenever we have to hire moderators, I was like, all right, look, by the way, this job is terrible. Like, if you want to do it, man, more power to you. I don't know how Kojo keeps his head straight, but more power.
I mean, there's a reason why I don't post as much on auction house as I would want to. Like, it's pretty much like it's either gonna be a bunch of support on what I'm trying to do, or it's just gonna be a bunch of shitheads just talking shit. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why the only time I post on the auction house right now is when I do the podcast, and when I don't know if you saw, but I run community nights every Friday, help new players and returning players get gear. And
Nice.
yeah, that's pretty much the only time I post.
Yeah, I didn't post for years. I have a fairly low numbered account. I made an account pretty early, but I didn't post with any frequency for, geez, probably like 5 or 6 years.
Mm.
And then I started getting involved in the, I guess the math community, for lack of a better term. And from there, I just started kind of enjoying my time on AH more. But I always stayed out of social threads. Like, it was always, purely job focused and numbers. The social threads, people love them, but wow, man.
I don't pay attention to that at all. I'm talking about just straight 11 threads.
Oh yeah, no, I like the social threads, but I can't hang out with them in for any length of time, because I feel weird. Like, I feel like the cop showing up to the hello, fellow kids.
I mean, it doesn't help that your name on fucking the auction house page is Idiot Boy.
So I switched that. So I made a 14 character level 1 specifically named Idiot Boy so I could register it, just so that people would maybe take me less seriously, and it has.
I mean, if it works, right?
Mostly I use that to post when I'm talking not in my administrator role. Like, I can't help that my name shows up as red. Like, I could fix it, but that'd be a pain in the ass. It wouldn't really be worth it. So, like, Idiot Boy is me just like me posting as a poster, not
right, as a pleb. You're a pleb right there.
Yeah, I'm a pleb. I'm not showing up to bust the party. Like, if I show up with like just the Rooks with no server, that means someone's in trouble.
Yeah, right. Now, do you know Ruomoko? I can't say his name, dude. Ruomoko? I
don't know them,
but you've heard of him.
Episode 4, so I could get a feel for the and I read some of the guides, so
yeah.
Basic idea. I saw heard if he's getting like threats from people,
death threats, that's
escalate that. Either send that to one of the moderators or PM me, because I don't stand for that shit on my website, man. I will handle that.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go with that. That's fucked. That's absolutely fucked. Okay, yeah, so
that's ridiculous.
So I mean, regardless of who you are, if you guys are getting death threats or some fucked up shit like that, hit up Rooks, hit up one of the moderators, because that's fucked up. At the end of the day, that's fucked up. Even though you're over the internet, it's over the internet or whatever. That's still fucking trash. Like, come on, be real. So Rooks,
I mean, AH records IP addresses, so I can. We've had to follow up with law enforcement once or.
Oh really?
Fortunately, we don't have to do it very often, but yeah, it's not.
Can we get a little? Can we hear a little bit about it, or?
No, I shouldn't have. Honestly, I should have even said that, other than just to make it clear that if people are causing problems,
yeah. I mean, you have to though, right? Like, you can't just disregard that.
Yeah, if you're gonna open your doors to people, you gotta be ready for what happens when ne'er-do-wells show up.
Yeah, but yeah, I know there are a lot of shitty people on auction house page, but if anybody's getting anything like that, definitely report that to the admins, because I don't stand for that. I know Rooks don't stand for that. Nobody should deal with that at all. But yeah, thank you for clarifying on that. I don't want people to be fucking afraid, you know what I mean? Like, this is a fucking video game forum, and we're all here to, arguing is fine, but shit like that, that's not cool. Anyway, moving along. Do you have anything planned or anything new coming up for the auction house page, or is it just gonna be straight what you've been doing?
So Um, the project I've been on for my day job for the past 9+ months,
Mhm.
it's tax related software,
Okay.
which meant we had a hard crunch of it's got to be ready by January 15th, and now we're in some post launch support, but that's wrapping up, so I'm gonna have more free time. I hate saying that, like, oh, I'll finally be able to do some work, because every time I say that, like, it bites me in the ass because something else comes out of sideways and is like, well, nope, guess you're not gonna do any work now. God damn it. So I have plans. I've had plans. I recently, I don't know if you've, um, well, actually, you're not involved in the 14 community at all, but there's an API now to talk to the 14 version of the auction house. So I'd like to get that wired up.
Mm.
Um, but I have a number of 11. Like 11 for me is still the top priority.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to fix achievements. I know what I need to do there. It's purely about having a sufficient block of time to make the Guildwork changes and the AH changes and the plugin changes.
We're gonna be going into Guildwork here soon, so don't but yeah, so that's the main thing, right? People crying about, oh my god, all my remas aren't showing up on my personal page.
I never get so much email as when I talk about achievements. It's like it's like ringing the dinner bell, man. Everyone and you know what? I don't even mind. I'm not even complaining about that, because I'm glad that people are finding ways to enjoy 11 and the site. Like, if that's what works for them, I'm happy to facilitate it. But the number of arguments in my inbox about what point value should be is completely insane. Like, if I could find a way to post it without, like,
leaking names and shit,
incriminating people, I probably would just be like, why you cost 8,000 points for this? It should only be worth 12 points.
Oh my god.
It's like, oh jeez, just pages and pages and pages of. I had to clean out my inbox once because it hit a point that we hadn't designed the inbox to go to.
Oh lord.
It was like, oh hey, I guess we never meant it to go past 900 pages.
Yikes, man. And people still, I mean, I think I saw a recent post about it. Like,
oh yeah, there's always posts about it. It's like clockwork. It's like once a week. So, like, I don't think it would be the first thing I did when I got a block of time. It's the thing most people want, but it's not the most important.
right.
There's a couple of underlying bugs that I would actually really like to fix just from a stability standpoint.
Can you mention one of them, or?
No, because at least one of them is security related. So.
Oh, okay, my bad. My
like
okay.
once it's fixed, the patch notes will go up and I'll explain.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's a balance between, I want people to know what I'm up to when I'm up to things, and not exposing things that shouldn't maybe be out there.
Right. No, I completely understand, man. I'm just also, trying to nitpick.
Yeah, no, it's also part of my deal with Scrag. Like, Scrag is very, very protective of his baby, as he should be, because he's
absolutely.
Which is part of why there isn't another programmer type, despite multiple people clamoring for it. But it's always felt to me like a real honor that he trusts me with it. So I try to be careful and respectful.
Right.
But yeah, like, no disclosure is a real hard rule of his. So.
He's still pretty active. He's online and a lot, right? Or
some. He's always like, I can always find him if I need him to, which I should bother him about this item update that needs to go out. But yeah, sometimes there's a little bit of a delay, but he always reads the email and the messages. He just doesn't
reply right away. Right. Yeah, I would definitely. Damn, if we could fucking call him right now and try to get him on here for like 5 minutes, that'd be cool. But
I don't think that's likely to happen.
Yeah.
If I want to find him, I have to, like, send him a message 2 days in advance. So.
Yeah. No, I understand.
I mean, he might even come on, but you gotta ping him and give him a heads up.
Yeah. Now, moving on from Final Fantasy Auction House. Guildwork. Wow.
Here we go.
I remember when fucking Stan messaged me, and I remember when he even messaged me about Discord before Discord wasn't even a thing. But he messaged me about Guildwork, and he's like, Dan, check this out. It was fucking phenomenal at the time when it first came. Oh, well, you were around when it first came out, right?
Absolutely.
It was fucking phenomenal. I would say it was like the social media page of MMOs. You had 11. You had WoW. It was 11, WoW, and 14, right? If I remember correctly,
Yep.
it was those three.
That's what's there.
Um,
Varying amounts of support. Like the WoW support was good, but it never quite got the same level of love that the 11.
oh my god. Stan was always on fucking the 11 support, dude, and you know I'm pretty sure he was working close with Scrag on get with the coding and all that. I don't know the exact details, but there was a lot going on. When it first came out and when he hashed out all the fine lines, it was fucking crazy. You know what I mean? It was one of its kind. When you obtained an item in game, say you got a riddle, that shit fucking instantly went up on Guildwork and said, "Hey, look, so and so obtained the riddle," and you're just like, you could show it to all your friends. I thought that was fucking nuts.
That's the windower integration is really what does that.
Oh yeah, with the plugin, right?
Yeah, yeah. The windower team is great. I don't know how much you've talked to or dealt with them, but they're fantastic.
They're gonna be on the. I'm trying to contact them right now. It's been pretty rough, but Guildwork in general, they had that aspect of it. They had the guild. You create a link shell site. You could track everybody's attendance, point system, and everything. And it was like the new age not live journal, or like live journal forum motion website for your link shell. And I thought Stan had a fucking great idea. And then Stan got involved with Guildwork, not Guildwork, Discord. And that's when he gave it to you, correct? The coding.
I was already I didn't get involved until much later.
Mm-hmm.
Guildwork had already started to enter its decline phase a bit. When he realized, I guess, that like he just couldn't do both. But it was still fairly hopping. But the big problem was the big problem that led to its depopulation in some ways was there was no way to keep the 14 plugin up to date, which was a big source of some of the influx. Like the 11 plugin stays up to date because 11's structure doesn't change that much.
Right.
And Windower's architecture makes it easy to track when things happen. 14's plugin, which was a source of a lot of the incoming people, how to explain it? So the 14 plugin used memory locations for everything instead of reading packets as they came in.
Mm-hmm.
So every time Square would change the data structures, you'd have to go in and change memory locations in like a dozen places. And when they released Heaven's Word, the first real expansion, even just changing the memory locations weren't enough. Some of the data structures changed entirely, and it was this moving target that's just impossible to keep ahead of. And I looked for a while into rewriting it with a packet reading sort of mechanism, but it was too much work that I didn't have the time for with the way my job was ramping up, and it was never quite my priority 11 over 11.
Right.
So I don't know. By the time I got access to it, it was probably already too late.
Right.
I already absolved myself of blame because I could have maybe done more if I quit my job. But no, like it was at the point where I had a toddler and a day job and all these things I wanted to do, and I had to prioritize. And it was, all right, am I going to? All right, well, I'm not going to play games anymore. So let's. And it was. I did mostly 11 work at that point when I had time, and then eventually even that I ran out of time to do. So
Gotcha.
like most of the thing is, Guildwork still works. The 11 stuff still works. It still pulls up stuff.
To a point. To a point. I mean, it's
the syncing and achievement stuff needs to be fixed.
right.
But what else doesn't work on it right now? Is there something that doesn't work?
I mean, that's the main thing I use it for, so I don't know. I guess there was the auction house integration, right? You could search auction house shit.
Yeah.
I've never actually used that, so
that should still work. Like none of the APIs have changed in 30 years, so.
Right. So how many people are on the Guildwork team then? It's just you that has the code and that's it?
I am the I don't even have access. So it's like where I don't have access to everything, but I have access to most things. The difference with Guildwork is I do have access to the bulk of the production servers, so I can deploy things myself. It's not like I have to call Stan every time. So I can make changes when I need to, but I haven't had to make that many changes because the only thing that's going to really require changes is when I make the whole set for achievement and tracking.
Right.
Because that'll involve changes to the plugin and the widower plugin and Guildwork itself and And I have to do them. I have to release them kind of all at the same time because if I release one and not the others, everything will just break. So
right.
I need enough time to finish all three at the same time, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that too. Shit. I know a lot of people are.
Yeah, I want to deliver it too. I have probably about another week on this project until it goes a little bit more dormant, and then I might have free time again. So
nice.
We'll see. If you have feature requests, now is the time to hit.
We'll save that for the Q&A. We'll save that for the Q&A. I know everybody's gonna be like saying some fucking shit, but yeah, man, I've been trying to get Stan. I've been trying to talk to him, and the dude's busy playing Anthem because I have him on my friends list, and he doesn't answer me, so it kind of makes me sad. But but yeah, he gave you Guildwork. Wait, it's been a bit now, right? Well, he gave you the access to whatever.
So I had some access early, like I had code access, not production access, early on, and then I got production access a little later. Mostly what I use the production access for now is when bots sign up, they use the guild forums to host where sites. So every so often I get a cease and desist from the hosting company.
Oh.
So I go in and clear those out about once a week.
Gotcha. I've been seeing a lot of weird shit on Guildwork.
Like what?
Okay, so I'm going on to one of my old pages, and there's like a bunch of like weird posts on the forum. Oh, I got fatal errors. I don't know. There was like a lot of bot activity. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Whoa! I just loaded Guildwork, and someone on my friends list just got 313 items. So I guess they started up.
Yeah. So pretty much that's gonna be your main thing, right? When you have time in the future, you're gonna be working on the achievement thing that everybody's been kind of crying about and complaining about.
Stability fixes, then achievements, and then kind of whatever else. And maybe something will pop up that's more important or less important or whatever. But I'm hopeful. I've done some of the groundwork for achievements, so I think at this point it's probably a pretty clear path to the end. I know what I need to do for the higher priority stuff. It's probably less than an hour of work. I just have to do it.
Gotcha.
And test it. Like that's the big thing, is because I don't have production access. Like I can't just tweak something if I screw it up. I gotta test it a ton before I let it go to Scrag. But yeah, no, if there's other stuff people want, are you seeing errors on your Guildwork page? Because like, screenshot and send those to me, because I can usually fix some of that.
I'll show you the stuff that I'm dealing with, and then I'll shoot it your way. I'll shoot you a DM. But yeah, we got that going. Yeah, man. hopefully everything works out. You know, hopefully your project that your real life day job shit works out, and
It's doing well. It's in the phase now where the client is happy. Um, it's just about dotting I's and crossing T's and getting
right.
everything wrapped up so that they give us the contract again next.
Nice, nice. I mean, I hope to see you on in game, man. I need to see. Hopefully, you can try to get Idiot Boy on Azura. I'd be impressed. I'd be impressed if you got Idiot Boy as a fucking character name.
Well, I mean, Idiot Boy. I mean, I could make an Idiot Boy on Azura maybe, unless someone beats it to me. Beats me to it now. But yeah, Idiot Boy is a 14 character. It's got space.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Plus, if you're gonna call yourself Idiot Boy, you probably should be playing the simpler game.
It's okay. Well, my brother's character, when I was on Odin, I had him named Titty Sprinkles for 3 months, and then I think no
one reported you for that.
For 3 months, and then I guess like one of the JPs on there got pissed and made me change it. I know, unfortunate, dude. But yeah, let's go into the Q&A. If anybody in chat has a question for Rooks, it could be anything related, right? Auction house related, Guildwork related. Alright, I actually have a good question for you. Now, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Not for me, but I don't care if other people do it. I can understand why you would want the sweet to cut through the grease. Not for me. Like, I don't want it, but like, I don't think someone is, necessarily hellbound for that.
I think they should go straight to hell. But that's
fair. Tough but fair.
Granted, I'm from New York, we're all about our pizza. But yeah, if you guys got any questions for Rooks, post it now. Let him know what's up. But yeah, man. Shit. Wait. So you say you'd never played Nosomi or private servers? No. You don't care for it, right? It's just
I don't have time for it.
That's true.
If I had the time for it, like I know people who play there, so if I had time for it, it might actually be something I would look into just to play with those people.
Right. Because I know Stan was like, oh yeah, some of the Discord people are playing on the private servers, and I'm like, okay. And this was a while ago. Alright, so we got one from Ejin. He says, what are the main things we can do as a community to help you make XIAH better?
Tell me when there's problems. Tell mods when there's problems. Like, if people are, I mean, that's what the report function is, but bugs, suggestions, it's less about I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't know what to do if people don't ask for things. Like the shopping list bit in the members menu, that was because Birth complained about it for a week. And I finally said, all right, fine, I'll write it. And so I wrote it. And there's problems with it because it's suited exactly to what Birth asked for. And I guess if you're not Birth, it's probably not...
it's not for you.
But yeah, so like, just if you see something that you think I should fix or that you'd want to improve, let me know. Like, that's all I can... That's all
should they directly message you, or should they make a post, or what would be better?
My first reaction is to say message me, but my inbox is a mess, and I feel bad because there's people in there with real requests that they get lost in the swamp. So that is actually a very good question.
Should there be like a thread, and then you have mods filter it out on what's real?
There's been a couple attempts at that. The problem is that the thread eventually falls off.
That's true, because
I would say PM me, and I'll try to get better about. Like, I have a to-do list. I just need to start adding things to it.
Is there like? What? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Are there like a list of mods that we can message, or are there like mods that are specified to this section or this the social section, one mod to the server section, one mod to the job thread section. You know what I mean? Like,
no, any mod can do anything. If you at the bottom of the AH page, there's an about, and that always has the list of who's who. I would say maybe don't message Demeshi because he doesn't show up anymore. He doesn't. Generally speaking, you'll get a fairly fast response from any of them. Kojo, just because he tends to respond faster, and I know Lena's in European time.
Okay.
But really, any of those three will hop on it.
Gotcha.
And they're all good about if something needs my attention. They're good about finding me in Discord too.
Okay. Okay. I mean that pretty much clears that up. But yeah. If you guys have any questions, if you guys have any inquiries, hit up the mods. Definitely let them know.
I see a question about a premium user on Guildwork.
All you. That's all you.
Working. Yeah, I opened up the chat. So I don't have access to the payment stuff, and if you DM me on Guildwork from your account, I can extend your premium. I can't stop it because I don't have access to that. You'll have to talk to Stripe, and they can reverse it or stop it or whatever. But if you just want your premium extended, I can do that. So just DM me directly.
And let's see. It's what user/Rooks, right?
No, I am.
Oh, that's not you.
No, I'm Keller. KELHOR.
KEL what? HOR.
HOR.
Okay. So message, Equindy, message here. Okay, so I think let me. What is this? Have you read the recent Shiva thread? Are you Team Azura or Team Shiva?
Oh, don't make me pick between my children's.
Oh Lord.
Shiva versus where is this? Which forum thread is it in? Is it in Azura or is it in?
Oh, right here. Well, no, I think he said the Shiva thread, right? I don't fucking know. He didn't link it.
Now I gotta know. I'm gonna go
look. Anyway, while you're looking for that, somebody asked, does he think SC should revamp FFXI, get it off of DirectX 8 or whatever?
I don't think they will. I think the point of them, talking to Nexon and trying to get a next generation 11 was so they wouldn't have to do that. They don't have 11 right now makes money because they don't basically spend anything on it. But as I said earlier, it makes money that's a lot to an individual, but for Square it's a rounding error. And
yeah,
I don't know how they could possibly justify the ROI of updating it. Like, I think they should. In fact, one of the reasons that I was excited when 14 came out originally was that I thought it was going to be 11 with a better graphical engine, and that's not what happened. But I don't know. It would be nice if they did, but there's just no way. It's just never going to happen. Whatever we get, next, any resources they would put towards that will just be on whatever the next version is, whether it's the Nexon mobile thing or Vana Deal Adventures on the Switch or whatever it is ends up being. Like, that's where they'll put that effort too, because I think they're invested in the notion of Vana Deal. They've truly seem to love it, but I don't think we'll get an updated PC 11 client. I don't see how it happens
unless there's a fucking 100,000 people that fucking send an email right now and be like, hey, look, I'll pay you $30 a month to play. I'll play $30 a month to play fucking 11.
short of some kind of like radical crowd,
Yeah.
revolution, because it doesn't make any sense just from a finance perspective for them to do it. Like, no one is going to start playing 11 because DirectX 8 finally gets put out to pasture.
Right.
I mean, maybe there's a couple dudes, but I don't see how they ever look at the numbers and make that decision.
Now,
yes, I'd love to see a better version.
Absolutely. I mean, I would love to see, I would love to see 11 run on Unreal Engine and all that shit. Now, I kind of brought this up before, Ninja streaming the private server, but that's giving, that's kind of throwing some clout on 11 and, kind of raising eyebrows here and there. Now, if Square had a better PR team and kind of showed the game off a little bit more, even though yes, it is a very old game, yeah, it kind of does look ugly compared to other games, but if actually people enjoy, like, people knew the functionality of the game and the horizontal progression and the grind, I think a lot more people would be playing. But I'm doing my best on my part, like trying to PR it as much as I can to whoever I'm around, right? But
it's gotten some press lately. I remember there was a big thing about, oh my god, Kotaku wrote about it, and whatever people's opinions about Kotaku are, it was wild to see, like, holy crap, someone's talking about 11. As far as 11 being ugly, I don't know if I agree. Like, given how old the game is, I'm amazed at how well the art style is held up. Like, no one's gonna confuse it with, something that came out last week, but for a game that's old enough to drive, looks pretty freaking good, actually.
well, yeah, I mean, I don't get me wrong, I love the art, I love the game. I meant just like from these younger generation, the generation under us that are getting into games and has never seen graphics like this because it's too old for them. You know what I mean? Like, to them, it's gonna be super ugly.
Those assholes need to get off my lawn.
Anyway, but yeah, like, I don't think it'll ever happen unless there's something, a revolution that fucking happened.
I think that was their goal with 11 mobile or whatever, is to move it to a better graphical platform. But I don't know. I want to know, like, I would give anything to be a fly on the wall of some of those internal Nexon meetings after Square rejected them for the 3rd time. Right.
Okay, so there's this one thing from the Paris Fan Fest for 14. I actually have the Reddit post up right now. In quotes, FFXI's community is still in a closed-off era. Have you read that?
Oh, the interview with
Yoshi.
Yeah, you know what I found most interesting about that interview was not where it's talking about the community being closed off, which is true. The outreach they have with 14 is vastly superior. But I thought it was most interesting the line where he says that 11 is under his purview now, where he talks about how he's now in charge. Like,
right.
I guess because he's in charge of I think it's Division 6, which is the online division. Because he is actually a huge 11 fan. Like, he's gone on and on about it. And at this point, he can sort of do whatever the hell he wants at Square. So maybe him getting, control is a sign of good things to come. But, like, you don't want to get your hopes up because, you've been burned before.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, here's the line. It says, I mean, I don't know how the translations are, but FFXI is under my jurisdiction now, so I think I'll put some effort into getting the players excited for this, via Refriender and NA as well. I've actually been playing FFXI2 these days. Aha.
Yeah, like, I read that and I was like, well, that's super interesting.
Interesting.
I don't know how much I would read into it, because that man can't sleep as it is. Like, I don't know where he would find the time. But the fact that it's something he's clearly invested in, and whatever you think of the current version of 14, the man gets results. So,
if
it's something that he wants to do, then that can only mean good things for us.
Hey, as long as it's something and we're not just being put in the dark, you know, like just thrown in the closet and forgotten about.
And I think that was one of the things, you know, I don't want to talk about 14 too much on an 11 podcast.
That's
But
fine.
one of the things that I liked about his tenure at 14 is how open he's tried to make things, you know, with the live letters and the fan festivals and just, you know, the from, you know, what we know of Square never telling us anything, just the radical amount of disclosure that 14 players get. And I don't know if that's what we're going to get in 11, but it seems like that's very much his brand, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened. But I don't know if he has any plans. Like, you've read the same article I have.
Right.
But knowing his love for this game, it wouldn't surprise me to see things come down the pike.
It can only mean good things, right? I mean, it can't. I can't see anything negative coming out of this. So, I mean, we can only, you know, bless RNG and hope we get good shit. But it is what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, man. I mean, that was, yeah. Hopefully we get something good from that. And yeah, it's ever since I started playing 11, it's been such a roller coaster for me. And I've gotten to meet a lot of great people. And yeah, man, I hope we could just keep this shit going. And thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
No, it's a great show. I'm happy to be on it.
Thank you. Yeah, man. So for the future, I mean, this is only the beginning. I'm trying to get the Windower team on here. I'm trying to get the BG Wiki team on here. And hopefully we progress. And I'm gonna try to. I know I'm not anybody huge out there yet, but you know, we're gonna try to make some moves, chat. We're gonna try to do something big and kind of get 11 more noticed. Actually, Rooks, have you noticed the new 11 website? You know they bought a new domain.
I did not know that.
This was actually a few months ago. Hold on, let me DM you this right now. Check this shit out. They have a new domain, so like this got me kind of psyched. It's actually pretty interesting, right? It's been a few months that this I think it's when the Refender came out actually.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I was gonna say this feels very much like Naoki Yoshida's Jane.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much. We're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you so much again, Rooks.
Okay. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to the Windower team being on here. I love the Windower team.
Absolutely.
They'll be fun guests. They'll be more interesting.
Nah, you're great, dude. You're fantastic. I want to do also like a crazy joint podcast where everybody's just speaking on top of each other and talking shit. But thank you so much. If you guys ever have any questions for Rooks, hit him up on the auction house page. He posts a lot as Idiot Boy, but you could also look up Rooks. Also, check him out on Guildwork. If you have any problems with it was Guildwork Premium, right? People have problems with that?
If you have Guildwork specific problems, DM me there. I wasn't getting emails when I got messages for a while, but I think I fixed that. So like, or hit me on Discord. I'm findable. But if you have problems, let me know. A lot of times it's usually something easy that I've fixed for a dozen people before. So it'll be quick, mostly painless.
Yeah, if Rook stays in my Discord server, you can find him there too. ! Discord in chat for the link.
The AH Discord is linked off of the homepage too.
Word. Yeah. Later, send me a message on whatever links that you want me to post on the YouTube video, and I got you. Cool. But thank you so much again. We'll talk again here soon. Let me know. Let me know when you're free. We could chat and have a good time.
Anytime. Thanks.
All right. Have a good night, brother.